Okay, so before we start with our discussion, can I ask you on what are you feeling today, Mr. Ellie?
Ayos lang po ako, sir. Kayo po?
That's good. Well, actually, me, I'm currently done with my other demo teaching, and right now I'm gonna do another teaching, which is the topic that we will be discussing for today. So with that, I will now share my screen so we could now start with our discussion. Can you see my screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. So again, good afternoon. I am Jibel Caleb Dailo, and we will talk about why do women wash the dishes. Before we started our discussion, let's start it first with a prayer. Can you please lead our prayer?
Okay, sir. Almighty God, we glorify you. Thank you for your goodness. We ask you to grant us the capability to understand, share, and comprehend the learnings for today's discussion. This is our plea to pray. Amen.
Amen. All right. It's already done with our prayer. I'm gonna just like give you a brief reminder so that we could have a better flow of our discussion. Which is first one is to listen with our discussion, understand, and at the same time to participate on each questions or group activities that we will be doing for today. Since your classmates are absent, so we can now end the checking of attendance. With that, let's start with our learning outcome. So our learning outcome for today is for you to define the unfamiliar words in the story, adapt the moral of the story to real life situations, evaluate characters' actions in the story, and discuss the conflict in the story. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any questions or any violent reactions so far?
None, sir.
Okay, that's good. It's a good thing. So let's now start with our preliminary activity. So for our preliminary activity, which is the vocabulary word game, you need to go to your browser and type in quizzes.com, and then you could find the code on that part, and you should answer and enter the code provided by your teacher, which is me, and answer the questions on the vocabulary um, word game. I would also send it the link on the assignment app or on the chat box rather here.
Sir, can I start now?
Yes, you can now start with our
Okay.
game.
Thank you.
Currently, I am just make a preview of the different answers on game. Mhm.
I'm already done, sir.
Okay, that's good. Since you're dog, can I have the screenshot of your answers and put it on our chat box?
Excuse, sir, ano po ulit yun?
Diba, there's a result after the mini game. Can I have a screenshot of it and send it on our chat box?
Okay, sir.
All right. Yes. Thank you for sending the screenshot of our game. Now we can now proceed with our another preliminary activity. By the way, I hope by discussing the vocabularies on that game, you could have a better understanding on the story and probably on the next activities we will be doing. But for now, we will now proceed to another preliminary activity, which is you should go to menti.com. And as you can see, there's also a QR code. You could scan it in order for you to go directly on our mini game.
Tapos na po ako, sir.
Yes ka na? Ayun. Nandiyan na pala, may sagot ka na. Nice one. So, can you please elaborate your answer? Recite and elaborate your answer on that part.
Ayun po, nakapag-decide ako na yun yung ilagay ko since um, masyadong basic kung ang isasagot ko ay dapat ako yung gumagawa ng gantong bagay. Dapat ito yung ginagawa ng babae, which is para sa akin po mali. Parang ang kailangan po natin as a person in the society or yung tao is kailangan maging responsable po tayo and willing tayo na tumulong ng ibang tao, lalo na yung mga nangangailangan. Ayun lang po. Thank you po.
It's a good answer actually because you're able to have a further discussion on what is your role as a man or woman in the society. So with that, I hope by having this kind of preliminary activity, you could have a better understanding with our discussion. So we will now proceed with our main topic for today, which is Why Do Women Wash the Dishes by Filomena Colendrino. So it is your assignment, right? That you're able to read the story. But as a brief discussion or a brief summary of the video, I also prepared a mini lecture or a mini summary of the video. So let's now watch it.
Why Women Wash Dishes. In the town of Santa Rosa,
Can you
there
hear the
once
sound,
lived
right?
a married couple named Hugo and
Yes,
Emilda.
sir.
Okay, that's good.
Every mealtime, they would argue over who among them will wash the dishes. I will not wash the dishes. And who told you so? Me. What? You lazy man! And this fight would escalate so quickly that Kamaldang would grab her broom and chase Kaugong. To settle on who gets to wash the dishes for as long as they both shall live, they decided on a wager. Whoever speaks first will wash the dishes forever. And when the wager began, they both fell silent and motionless. Suddenly, one of their neighbors came to their house and saw them just sitting and staring at each other without even moving. She kept on calling them, but still they refused to respond. Hence, she decided to consult the herdsman and told him what she had seen. When the herdsman saw them, he declared that they were bewitched, and he used the leaf and nuts to cure them, but still it wasn't effective. The herdsman believed that they are dead, and their spirit was driven away by the witch, so they decided to bury them. When their neighbors decided to put them in a coffin and bury them, Ka Imelda refused and decided to speak to evade their plan. Stop! Don't touch us! Get out of our house now! When Gaogong heard the voice of his wife, he jumped with excitement that he won. I won! I knew I would win! Now I'll never wash the dishes forever! And this is the reason why women wash the dishes.
And that is the end of the story. Now let's talk about its literary elements. Of course, let's start with the setting. So the story happened in the town of Santa Rosa, where it was around the lunchtime. And the characters include Hugo, the husband, which is referred to as Kaugong, and then Imelda, the wife in the story, which is also referred as Kamaldang. The next character, we have the neighbor, or the compadre, the one who first saw them. And then the herdsman who tried to cure the married couple. And then, of course, the nosy neighbors. And now, for the symbol of the story, one symbol that I can find is the dishes. The dishes symbolizes the conflict in marriage between the couple, between Hugo and Imelda. Theme of the story, we have marriage, of course, conflict in marriage. For the style of the story, as we have noticed, at first read, it is very humorous because it has funny characters and it has funny scenes. But then when we look deeper, when we look closer, we will realize that the story has deeper meaning. It offers a lesson to the married couple out there.
Great. So that would be the end of our mini video. So for other questions or for other um the presenter stated you are the one who would answer it later on. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's
Do you have
clear.
any questions or valiant reactions so far?
Wala naman po.
Okay, that's good. We can now proceed with our activity. All right. So this would be a group work, pero since absent yung mga classmate ko, so you're the one who would answer this um, group activity. I'm gonna give you 15 minutes to discuss and to brainstorm the ideas and to answer our questions. If you have questions, Just open your mic and tell it to me. So the timer starts right now. Ka na agad? Ang galing naman. Ay, wala pa ba? Wala pa ba? Sorry, sorry, sorry. Tenen, tenen, ten. Ay, sorry, sorry. Okay, last 2 minutes. Ay, wala pa pala.
Oo, sir.
Tapos ka na?
Yes, sir. Tapos na po ako.
Apakabangis naman pala. Wala pang 15 minutes, nasagot mo na lahat. Paano na lang mamaya sa evaluation? Anyway, let us discuss your answers with our, or let us now discuss your answers with our discussion. Just wait for a few moments. Para walang, just gonna change my background. So, there'll be no sagabal or any distractions while you are discussing. Okay. Ayan. Okay. Our discussion first. Okay. So, ito yung mga questions. Basahin mo na lang while you're yeah, okay. You know, start for number one.
Sir, hindi ko mabasa yung tanong.
I'm gonna do it. Ano na lang, again. Ayan. How about now? Can you see it now? Okay. For question number one.
In this story, how are men and women's role depicted? Ayun. The woman role is assigned on the house chores, while the man is responsible to work for his family.
So
Ayun, sir.
so with that, how so with that, you are right on that part that it was actually depicted in a story the usual role of men and women in on the society. So do you think it is equivalent for our today's generation? Did the story shows how women really do something or men do something? Okay, take your time.
Ayun, sir.
Like um in today's generation or in today's society, on number one, do you see that the usual role of women or women ay, or me, the usual role of men or women ay actually by that by that kind of mindset on the story?
Ayun, sir. Sa ngayon, hindi na masyado since marami nang nagagawa yung mga ibang babae. But then, may mga cases na ganyan pa rin yung nangyayari sa ibang family, which is, it's para sa akin malungkot since limited yung nagiging way or nagagawa nila.
Okay, with that, can we now proceed with number two? So by telling about the roles of the woman and men, what do you think is the strength and weakness of the story?
Kaindang shows a strong character or a woman, a hard-kinded, but somehow I think her weakness is for being stubborn.
Mm.
Ayun.
And
Well,
yes, and
well, Kayugo is a hardworking, but I think he has superior to his wife,
mm, it's
and
a good
that's
point.
make his weakness. Ayun.
Okay, that's a good point. Actually, I get your point that you see how Imelda tries to be superior by showing strong personality. However, we could also see how Kahugo tries to refuse on that superiority of Imelda because he Hugo thinks that he should be the superior because he is the man. So on that kind of mindset, on that kind of story, we could now see the weakness of the story because the weakness of the story actually depicted the traditional thinking of the Filipinos. So, and actually up until today, the patriarchy, or which the man should be the superior, should be the head of the family, is actually prevalent up until now. And it's impacted, it's still on the culture and norm of of the Philippines, which is also depicted in the story. And at the same time, you are right that the strength of the story is how women refuses on that kind of discrimination, of that kind of bias or stereotypes towards with them. And with that, we can see that the story actually not just focuses on the patriarchal side of the story, but also how it can be resolved, how women can refute, how women can stand on its own in order for that woman to have independence, to have power, to also have this kind of superiority. Is it clear? Okay, that's good. How about on number 3? Can you please read it? Oh,
Do you believe that a woman's role should be limited to household chores? My answer is no, because I believe that any person or woman has the right to explore their capabilities in life and to develop their knowledge, not just limited to household chores.
so,
And I think,
okay, you are right on that part that women should also have another roles, another things that they should be done. But can you please give me an example of it?
okay, um, yung isa sa naiisip ko is, they can also be responsible to work for their families. Ayun, sir.
You're right on that. Can you give like a woman that is has this kind of a mindset?
Okay. Siguro masasabi ko na lang yung nanay ko.
That's good.
Because, hindi niya po, parang hindi niya hinahayaan yung tatay ko na yung siya lang yung mag-work. Dapat gumagawa rin siya ng way niya para makatulong sa fam namin. Ayun.
Oh, you're right. And with that, can you see something between your mother and father? So what they are doing? They are
Working.
you're right, they are working. You're definitely right on that part. But as you've stated a while ago, your mom wanted also to work because he wanted your father to, or your mother also wanted to what?
Ayun, para makatulong din sa amin.
You're right, to help. And with that, a mother and father should
Communicate.
communicate, and also what you stated a while ago, a mother and father should
Mm-hmm.
Sinabi mo na siya kanina. Should what? Ano yung ginagawa ng mom mo sa father mo?
To communicate. Mag-usap.
And at the same time, you're right to communicate. And di ba nagwo-work yung mom mo? So, by working, ano yung nagagawa niya sa father mo? To, to,
Ay, tumutulong.
tumutulong. So, ang anong meron ngayon, o ano dapat ang dinidepict ng relationship? A father and a mother should
Sir, ano ulit yun?
di ba sabi mo tumutulong yung mother mo sa father mo. Ngayon, with that kind of mindset, a mother and a father
Understand each other.
should understand and tumutulong, right?
Oh,
Nasabi ko na kanina. So, a mother and a father should
nalilito na tuloy ako, sir.
a mother and a father should help each other.
Oh,
Tumutulong. Di ba sinabi mo na siya kanina na tumutulong yung mama mo sa father mo? Because your mother also wanted to help your father. So with that, the relationship should have this kind of unity to help each other in order to have better understanding. And by having this kind of better understanding, they could have better communication towards each other. So, relationship should help each other for their growth, for their betterment of their life, just like what your parents doing. Diba? Is it clear? You have any question? or violent reaction?
Done, sir.
Okay, so please proceed to number 4.
What approach do you think that couples should take to resolve their conflict? Ayan. I think that to resolve their conflict is to have a heart-to-heart talk and to be always calm when talking so that they can understand their both sides and to validate their feelings on each other's.
Okay, you are right on that part because basically, if you're on a relationship, you should have communication towards each other to compromise on what should be happening, or in order for you to have an equal rights or an equal opportunity towards each other. Now, if you will go back to the story, what could you recommend to Hugo and Imelda resolving about washing the dishes?
Para sa akin, nung naisip ko na pinaka-best way nila nung pagkatapos kumain, parang
Wag na
kailangan
magugas
nila,
ng plato? Ay, hindi
hindi
ba?
po, parang kailangan nilang unawain yung isa't isa and oo, parehas silang napapagod din sa mga ginagawa nila pero parang kailangan at the same time kailangan din nila na magbigayan or magkaroon ng parang contract na siya muna sa umaga din siya din sa gabi. Parang magkaroon lang ng equality sa loob ng bahay.
You are right on that part. So do you think yung ginawa ba nila na lifetime, forever na maghuhugas yung babae, which is Imelda, is right?
Para sa akin hindi. Hindi po.
Because?
Siguro dahil kailangan din ng lalaki na matuto sa mga gawaing bahay.
Marunong ka ba
Pero,
maghugas ng plato?
syempre naman.
Ay, ganun ba? Sorry. Anyway, since on the last naman, magpunta na tayo sa number 5.
In the story, did you notice any Filipino characteristics? Explain. Okay. Siguro, one of the Filipino trait that I see in the story is the nossiness of their neighbors.
Okay.
Since, for me, they should not go beyond their limits as a neighbor to decide for the married, to the married couple. Ayun, sir. Parang para sa akin yan yung pinaka-napansin ko talaga. And most especially until now,
Yeah.
nangyayari pa rin.
So meron ka ba dyang marites na kakilala? Okay. Mukhang madami. Mukhang madami. So you are right on that part, that one of the Filipino traits that actually saw on that movie is those neighbors, or we can call them chismosang kapitbahay, because to the point that they totally enter on the house and make a decision for the two, which is not really good because hello, hindi ka naman kamag-anak. And aside from that, 'di ba, on the story, the chismosang kapitbahay called someone. So, the chismosang kapitbahay called who?
The Herbman.
And the Herbman is also a trait of?
Ayan, a trait of a Filipino.
On what way?
Siguro, may mga naniniwala yung ibang Pilipino din sa mga Dr. Quack. Since may mga may mga events sa buhay ng tao na hindi masyadong ma-explain ng mga doctors. Kaya yun yung nagiging way na baka daw na nasa niban or nabarang. Parang yun yung other, or parang yun yung naging alter way nila to resolve the problem.
You are right. Since it is actually one of the Filipino traits that they tend to believe on something just like Dr. Quack Quack or the Herb Man. But would you recommend having this kind of consultation to Herb Man?
Hmm, para sa akin, hindi siya recommended, pero siguro kapag hindi na masyadong ma-explain ng doctors kung ano man yung naging sakit, parang pwede naman siyang ano, subukan kung may mga ano ba certain na ganito yung nangyari. Pero but then, kailangan, syempre kailangan isipin ng mabuti kung yung ano ba yun, kung yung sinabi ba ng ano na yan is totoo. Hindi naman sa totoo, pero kapani-paniwala, ayun. Yun yung term.
So kapag ba sinabi ng Herb Man na may utang ka na kapre, maniniwala ka? Pinakita sa kandila. Okay. Anyway, so you are right on that part that there's nothing wrong to um subukan since wala na mawawala sa'yo. But always remember na you should know your limitation because we cannot change the fact that there are some Herman that take advantage of those people who go to them. But at the same time, I could probably still recommend them in a way na herbal medicine, right? Because there are actually proven herbal medicine that could actually help people. Like, for example, lagundi, four cups, serpentina, tawa-tawa, and so on and so forth. But aside from that, we should never forget to still have consultation on the professional, which is doctors, right? Because at the end of the day, they know what is happening to you, right? With that, I guess you are now. Do you have any question or any violent reaction?
No, sir.
Wala. Hindi ka ba magugulat? Ay, wala bang ganun? Okay. So with that, we can now proceed with our next activity. So this would be your evaluation na, ha? Can you see my screen? Yes, na? Can you see my screen now? So after this discussion, we could now have generalization. So what do you think is the moral and general conclusion in the story?
Ayun, sir. Bali ang naano ko dyan is, ayun nga, kailangan maging kalmado lagi kapag nakikipag-usap dun sa isang tao. And kailangan maging malawak yung pangunawa ng bawat isa't isa dun sa sides nila parehas. And ayun yung isa pa na um, parang walang karapatan yung ibang tao na pakialaman yung ano, yung buhay nyo. I mean, dapat labas sila doon. Ayun lang po yung ano, dapat hindi ka nangingialam ng buhay ng may buhay ng iba.
Yeah. You
Ayun,
are
sir.
right on that part. And as you can see, nare-remember mo pa ba yung one of our preliminary activity on menti.com? What
Hindi na, sir.
yung what are the roles and gender?
Ah,
Yes.
okay. Ayun,
And
sir.
with that, do you think related kaya yung story with our prelim kanina? With the gender roles?
Yes, sir. Since, ayun nga, pinakita lang din sa story na yung woman nga ay siya lang yung nakatoka din sa household chores. But then in reality, hindi naman siya limited sa ganong ano lang, ganong way.
Okay, you are right. And that would be the general conclusion in our story. So, Why Women Wash the Dishes talks about the story of Cayugo and Imelda who have this kind of disagreement on who would be the one would wash the dishes. It is very mababaw in a sense because they could resolve them by compromising, just like what you've stated a while ago, that probably Hugo can wash on the evening and Imelda on the morning. And With that, we could also have this kind of moral in the story, which is to have communication, to compromise each other, and the gender role towards men and women. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have any questions? Violent reactions?
None, sir.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's good. With that, we can now proceed with our evaluation. Are you ready? All right. I'm just gonna give you the form. Gonna send it to you. Ayan. Gonna send on our chat box. All right. Or wait, where is that? Yeah. Gonna copy it na lang siguro. Yeah. Yeah. Just wait. I'm just gonna send it here na lang. Ayan. Nasend ko na. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna play na pala. So, 15 minutes starts now. Okay.
Tapos na po, sir.
Tapos ka na? Okay, napakabangis naman. Alright. So with that, we can now we can now proceed with our malapit na tayo matapos actually. Proceed na tayo sa ating next slide. Right? So for your next slide, you could now have an assignment, which is your assignment is how can you resolve gender roles in the society? Write your response in 12 times New Roman font, justified with a minimum word count of 250 words and 1.5 spacing. So you just send it on my Gmail account. And that would be our discussion for today. Do you have any questions or any violent reaction?
No, sir.
Okay, that's good. So as I'm telling this to my students to keep smiling because you're worth living. Can I see a wide smile naman before tayo end? Okay. Have a great day ahead. Enjoy your afternoon up until night. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Goodbye.